And I walked past it, and I walked
Say hi,
back,
Paul.
and then a tail came out of the log, and I was like, holy crap. Yeah.
He just went after it and shook it like a rag doll. It was awesome.
Just protein.
Yeah, lots of protein.
You take a big fish and you reach in there and start pulling. It keeps coming.
Okay.
Carcass.
So for this one, we're doing a sculpin. It's going to be a little bit different. Going to be the same hook setup. This one's going to ride hook down. But always with these tails, I'm trying to keep the fur, the end of the fur, as close to that hook point as I can.
The end of the hide?
Yeah. Yeah. That or where that fur kind of tends to taper out. Just try and keep that as close to that hook point as possible. There we go. Yeah, hi.
You just want to be in the video.
No kidding.
Yeah, I just want to see if you still there. Okay. I got you.
So yeah. And then I will take that up.
Is that a rabbit?
Yeah.
Looks kind of farsighted.
Yeah, I've kind of picked out this one a little bit. It was super thick, so I went through it with a... No, this is straight cut. Yeah. Yep, this one and the last one were straight cut. Actually, on that mouse, you can use crosscut and be just fine, especially up in the body section of it. Okay. Needless to say, if you buy a thing of 50-pound spider wire just for fly tying, it'll last forever. Because that's made it through the whole season in Alaska and this whole year so far. And it's barely got any gone from it. That and like for all those big flies like that, I just use mono for the articulation points. Because it's cheaper, it's just as strong as that wire, and I actually think the fly moves a little better with it. There we go. Okay. So on our front hook, we're still sticking with that size 1. And on this one, I'm going to throw in some medium dumbbell eyes. And I'm using the double pupil eyes from Hairline. Just started using these. These things look awesome on flies, especially when you put a dubbing head on it.
Kevin, I saw some eyes the other day that they were advertising. They're like in silver, natural colors, but then they had little eyeballs made on the bows.
Sockets.
Yeah.
It's called real eyes.
Yeah.
You have little sockets on there and you stick in the...
No, these had them actually just bulging out. They were just molded into them.
Are they the pseudo eyes?
I'll just look that ad up again.
So yeah, when I do my dumbbell eyes, I always figure 8 and
So
then
they
do
were
those
dome,
wraps around the
right?
bottom to secure it in.
Bulbs coming out of them.
I am going to.
I'll find that ad. I'll bring it in.
I do glue those. And then we will take our braid. And I tie these with a pretty long tail.
You've moved.
I did. And then we're going to use most of the shank of this hook on this fly also. And on this one, I'm going to take the braid ahead of those dumbbell eyes and then double it back just so that it gets down in that glue that I put on the dumbbell eyes also, and just kind of really seats everything together. I'm not wanting to cut very clean. Okay. Now, take our glue and I'll touch a couple points of that braid with it. That way, when you pull this rabbit over, it'll glue down to that braid and you still have a nice full wiggly tail.
Right.
And I'll just kind of hold that there for a second. Make sure it glues down. Looks like a paddle board. I don't know how guys fish off those. I'd set the hook and fall right off the thing.
That's what I would do.
I'd lose everything down.
Yeah. No kidding.
I'd be exhausted.
My
by the
legs,
time I was
my
out.
back, everything. Okay, so now we're gonna build a flashy underbody with this, and I'm gonna use ice wing fiber from Hairline. It's basically like wing and flash. I just like this for the colors that they offer. Yeah, let's take some strips of that, cut that in half. And we'll come up to about that halfway point. And I'm going to just figure eight that in. And then pull it down. Tie that in. So now you got a little flash fiber that follows the underside of your tail also. For that part, and then we're going to make a dubbing loop, and we'll put the same stuff in it and twist it up and build the rest of that body, and then pull the rest of the bunny over. So. Just kind of quarter that up a little bit so you get a little finer, or shorter, I mean, not finer. Spin. That bike keeps wanting to move. Keep spinning it and just make sure I get it super tight. Okay. And we'll just make touching wraps with that up through this body. Comb that back out. And now we'll go ahead and pull our bunny wing over. And then I've pulled down all that hair and I'm going to trap it underneath the thread just so I get a little bit more hair up front. I'm kind of trying to build a little more bulk as you go forward. Okay. Ow. Those are very sharp. Okay, so now for our pec fins, I'm going to take some olive ostrich. And I'm probably going to put 5 or 6 pieces on each side, just right on the side of each, and kind of flare them out a little bit.
Well, I mean, all they're going to do is, you know, what the problem is they don't know. All of a sudden come around the corner, unless they get it out.
And that ostrich helped give it a little more movement also, as well as, once again, giving you that profile of a sculpin a little more. And now that I've got them tied in, I'm just going to come in and splay them out a little bit with my fingers. Just kind of spread them. There you go. That way you get a little more of a fatter pec fin section coming into the head. And then for the head, we're just going to use a dubbed head. You could use layers or dub or whatever. I really like this bruiser blend. It's more of a bruiser blend. It's the fly fish food dubbing.
Okay.
It's more of a natural fibered one, so it absorbs a little bit of water and it helps get down a little more. And it's a pretty simple, just stacked dubbing head. On this top part, coming into my collar though, I am going to tie it in about 60% going forward and 40% going backward, just so that collar is a little bit longer when you fold it back over itself. And on the bottom I'll just 50-50 it. And these sculpins work really well, especially in like the creeks up in Alaska, all those little glacial creeks and everything. Usually full of sculpins. At least the ones that we fished definitely were. And that was really the only place where the string leeches really didn't work well, just because, I don't know, I guess they weren't just used to seeing them in there, and there were just so many sculpins in the little areas that we did fish that's all they cared about eating. So we'll do 2 stacks behind the eyes and 1 stack in front. That's the other reason I like a dubbed head on these flies too, because the sculpins have such big heads. But these always come out nice and kind of fat, and then I always trim them down with my scissors to the shape that I want.
That looks like a mouse tube. Yeah. Yep.
Yep.
See,
Yeah, no kidding.
A nuclear mouse.
Mouse with a weird tail. That doesn't want to move a lot right now.
Looks like sheep fleece. It's got sparkle in it.
Mm-hmm. Which I've tried making my own out of Sculpin wool, and it works. Just takes
Mixing in the
time.
flash.
Yeah, mixing in that ice wing fiber with it. There we go. Lighter.
A lighter.
Yeah. Clean up the head a little bit.
Dangerous.
A little bit.
No, I mean, sends the thread and the fly comes undone.
I have done that before. It's not very fun. You learn real fast not to get close to your thread with it. And that's why you always whip finish before you do that too.
Yeah, show that again. Hold it there a little longer.
Oh yeah. Yeah, watch all of it unfurl. And then I will beat this whole thing up with this brush.
Fly abuse.
That's how you know you got a good durable fly now.
Yeah.
Every single one I sell gets the
Cousin
crap
it.
beaten out of it.
Remember that?
Yeah.
Cousin it.
So we'll come in.
Oh, you don't even need to trim that.
Not really. Up front we are. So there's your belly part. And then I take my scissors in there and I find that very front clump of dubbing that we put in. So those back two clumps we're going to use is the majority of our head in the collar area. This one we're going to cut off.
How do you feel after you've taken all this time to build this and the client snaps it off on the second cast?
Well, the clients don't fish these ones. They fish string leeches
Oh.
because they take 5 minutes to tie.
Okay.
These are my flies that I throw up there.
If we go up, we'll get to fish.
Yeah, yeah. If you guys go up, you can fish them.
Yeah, one guy that was from Seattle and he had talked, hey dude. Yeah.
Oh God.
So I heard him all the time going, hey dude, quit losing those. It takes me a while to tie those. You know.
Hey dude, tie faster.
Or more.
Yeah, no kidding. Tie more of them. You're a guide. You should know how many flies you go through. I tie all mine before I leave, so I don't tie it all up there for the most part.
Yeah, anytime I go in it, I was walking the flat, just kind of looking for him, and I passed this log, and I was like, it looked like a
More than a log.
log, and I walked past it, and I walked.
Say hi,
back,
Paul.
And
Hi.
then a tail came out of the log, and I was like, holy